It's time for another drive with BYD Cars Philippines, and this time we have the BYD Shark 6 DMO, very recently launched, and we are currently stuck in traffic. This is where it shines because it's a hybrid pickup truck, or well, it's mostly electric power. Anyway, we've been driving so far for around, how long? 30 minutes maybe? We came from Seda, Vertis North in Quezon City, and we're heading to Clark in Pampanga, where we'll be spending the night. So I'll be showing you more about this vehicle in just a bit. So just a few minutes ago, around maybe 20 minutes ago, we arrived here at the Alviera in Pampanga, and this gives us the opportunity to check out how this is in the exterior. We've shown you a video of that before, but we were very quick. So let's take a look at it with more detail. So here in front, you can see the huge BYD logo in the grille, which really screams at you. It shows its toughness. Then the headlights are here on the side, just squared out headlights on both sides. Projector headlights, LED, 18-inch alloy wheels, so two-tone, and they're wrapped in GT tires, which these are just highway tires, but the size 265, 65, 18s, these are the same as what you would find in most pickup trucks and SUVs, which means it will be very easy to find those as well in the market. Then we have these blacked out fender flares, very rugged looking, of course, like the rest of the truck. We have some running boards over here. These are just plastic, nothing metal like what you would see in a Ford Ranger Raptor. And by the way, speaking of Ranger Raptor, this is actually bigger than one. Then we have a friend right here. Yeah.
Hi.
Then moving here towards the back by the bed, we have this sports bar, so metal sports bar, which actually looks good. I'm not a huge fan of sports bars, but here in the Shark 6, it looks good. And then standard bed liner for the bed. Let's open it up so we can press the button. So press it 2 times. And it's power release, and also there's some support struts here, so it's gonna be very easy to lift up and down. No need to crash that bed down. 1,200 liters of payload capacity back here. Again, standard bed liner, and we also have a power outlet on the side. 3 of them, actually. Then close it up, just lift it up. So we cannot close it power, unfortunately. Anyway, stuff back here now. We have full LED taillights as well. The usual pickup truck taillight here, but it's kind of set apart with the light bar right there. So that kind of makes it look different. We have the BYD again screaming back here. This time it is molded onto the tailgate. We have the BYD Shark 6 badging over there, and DMO all-wheel drive, because this is of course all-wheel drive, and DMO means dual mode off-road, which we'll talk about once we are driving this. Also, down there we have a tow hitch receiver, so you don't need to install one separately. Then over here on the other side, you will find our charging door. So that's type 2 charging and CCS2 charging for our electric motors. You can actually charge this through DC charging, so you don't need to wait that long if you have the opportunity. So yeah, let's check out the interior. And now we're inside the BYD Shark 6. So we spent about almost 2 hours here inside this interior, and I can say that it's a very comfortable place to be in for sure, especially for a pickup truck. And the design is not your typical BYD look. Usually BYDs have this swoopy design. This one goes for a more simple and, well, more rugged look, because this is, after all, a pickup truck. But the materials say otherwise though, because we have soft touch materials all over the dashboard. That's soft touch plastics, soft touch leather here with some orange stitching to look different. Also orange accents all around, so that really gives this a unique look. Then also here in the door panel, same thing, soft touch leather over there, and more soft touch, well, faux leather right over here. Then for our steering wheel, we have a 2-spoke steering wheel, but it looks like a 4-spoke steering wheel, so that's kind of unique. So it's actually cut open down here, and it's also tilt and telescopic adjustable. We have some controls for adaptive cruise control and some controls for our audio system on the right. Terrain mode selector over here, and driving mode selector on the steering wheel as well. That's also very unique. And our horn, it's a very loud horn, which is appropriate for a BYD Shark 6. And right behind that, we have our 10.25-inch digital instrument cluster. Pretty much the same as what you would find in any other BYD vehicle. Over there, a heads-up display as well. Then here in the center, a 12.8-inch infotainment system. Of course, in typical BYD fashion, it rotates, but there it goes. So we have a rotating screen. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto are standard, and I prefer it in its horizontal mode. And of course, typical BYD as well, the aircon controls can all be found here. It will take some getting used to, but yeah, unfortunately, we have to deal with it always being there. Then moving down here, well, the aircon vents are there. We have a wireless phone charger with ventilation and also our NFC card reader right here. So you can actually start the car just with a card. Also, we can put our phone here as well for storage. Then more stuff you will find here. There's a lot actually. It's buttons galore. So thankfully BYD hasn't gone the touch sensitive route. So we have a volume toggle, our electronic gear selector. We have some buttons for to turn on the air conditioning system, parking sensors, hill descent control, and then various switches here for auto hold, to open the tailgate, start the vehicle, our EV and HEV modes, and the hazard button. Everything is right here. 2 cup holders and some storage here as well. And lastly, before we head to the back, let's talk about the front seats, which are also very comfortable so far. So they're wrapped in leather like every other BYD. They have orange stitching as well to match the rest of the interior, and the BYD logo here on the headrest. And well, very supportive, and they don't feel like your typical pickup truck seats. And now we're seated at the back of the Shark 6 DMO, and it's also not typical pickup truck here. By the way, it's a bit crowded here right now because we are in a media drive, so all our stuff are back here. But anyway, despite that, we still have loads of space, which isn't usual in any pickup truck. So as you can see, leg room, knee room, it's huge. So I have loads of that. The floor is also flat under all this stuff. It's all flat. And we also have hidden here a 220-volt household power outlet, USB-A and USB-C ports down there as well. Then of course the seats are, well, they're very comfortable actually. So they're slightly reclined, and we have loads of thigh support as well. So this is a very comfortable place to be in for a pickup truck. Center armrest with 2 cup holders here as well, and 2 aircon vents there in the middle again. Materials here same as in front, so we have soft touch faux leather and lots of those very high quality materials right here. It feels very good. And now let's see what we have to do next for this media drive. Good morning, it is day 2 of the BYD Shark 6 media drive. I'm the passenger now, and our driver is Sam, who is very competitive because we have a somewhat of a fuel economy challenge this morning. Also, we have at the back
Morning.
Topi of Apex Motoring.
Cheers.
So make sure to follow his new...
Yeah. And use your turn signals.
Hey, it's not me. Anyway, so we are heading to further up north to Pangasinan this morning, and we will be heading all the way back to Manila after. So again, there's a fuel economy challenge. The trucks are fully charged and fully fueled up. Yeah, so we currently have 97% of electric range and 736 kilometers, and we are not allowed to turn off the air cons, and we are supposed to drive normally. I don't know about this guy. What are you gonna do?
All of you will suffer with me.
He's too competitive. Anyway, we'll see you later, especially maybe when I'm driving already. Now it's my turn to drive for the Shark 6 media drive. Well, I've already driven this yesterday, so it was more of observing how this performs on the road. So this time that was loud. We are now driving on the Tarlac Pangasinan La Union Expressway, or T-Plex, and highway driving is, well, it feels like any other vehicle on the road pretty much. Actually, driving the Shark 6 feels a lot like the Sea Lion 6, the Seal 5, which is kind of weird because you'd expect from a pickup truck something loud, a little bit of unrefinement. This one is very quiet, although road noise is a bit pronounced because it is very quiet. We are currently driving on EV mode, by the way, so the engine is completely not running. And speaking of the engine, that works as a generator only for our electric motors and batteries. So we have a 1.5-liter turbocharged gasoline engine which charges our dual electric motors. So we have the front and rear motors, and the combined output is 436 horsepower and 650 newton meters of torque. And again, it drives like a regular car pretty much anywhere. But the bonus of this is that you can take it anywhere because, ground clearance. We have the DMO system. So unlike other BYD products that have a gasoline generator, this one is called DMO instead of DMA. So DMO means dual mode off-road, and it means that the electric motors are kind of tuned more towards off-roading. So when you need to go off-road, instead of using our traditional transfer cases, our traditional differential locks, this one doesn't have any of those. Instead, all the motors do the work. They distribute the power through the wheels. And what I do wish is that a little bit more a pickup feeling. We only get that from the ride quality because it rides like a pickup truck as it should. So the ride is, I can liken it to something like a Mitsubishi Triton Athlete, which we also recently drove. Not as good as the Ranger Raptor V6, which we returned yesterday. Pretty much standard pickup truck as well. Body roll is slightly there, but this feels more planted thanks to the positioning of those electric motors and the battery down low. And like I mentioned earlier, we are having a fuel economy challenge. And thankfully, I'm the one now driving. Sam back here was very competitive. So based on his results, we are currently at 44 kilometers of EV range. And our fuel range hasn't moved 1 kilometer. So we are still at 736 kilometers where he started. So his competitiveness is actually working out so far. Anyway, we'll be going off-road later. We are currently on the way to the Kalikasan in Mga Tarem, if I'm saying that right, in Pangasinan. We have some twisties there, and we also have an off-road course waiting for off-road trail waiting for us. So let's see later how this performs. Okay, so as you can see, we are currently by a river. We are in the town of Mga Tarem in Pangasinan. I hope I said that right. And before this, we went through an off-road trail in the Daang Katutubo, and we also went through the Daang Kalikasan. And the Shark 6 here did a very good job of taking on everything. It's still different from what you would find in your usual pickups, but it is capable nonetheless despite the different setup for off-roading. So now, we will be driving back to Metro Manila. We'll be heading home. And it's my turn to drive right now, so let's have a little bit more of a look of how this performs on the twisties. And now we're back on provincial highways, and we just finished taking the Shark 6 one off-road like I told you earlier, and through some very tight twisties, which was loads of fun. And at the same time, we were able to give this quite a charge. So we now have 39% of full EV range compared to earlier where we had about like 3%. So we were able to charge this fairly well for considering the time that it took. It was around maybe 15-20 minutes of twisty and downhill road driving. So we're now driving back to Metro Manila. We're on our way home, and it'll take us around, I'm guessing, around 5 or 6 hours to get there. We'll be driving straight there, and so far during this drive, what I will have to say about the BYD Shark 6 is, well, first, it's not for me. I think I personally would still go for a traditional pickup truck with a turbodiesel engine, or even a different kind of gasoline, just a bigger engine, not exactly electrified yet. But for people who would go for pickups because for style and such, this is actually perfect for them. People who just go light off-roading, people who don't really push their pickups to their limits, this is perfect for them. Plus the savings that you get from the electric motors is definitely something to consider. This pickup truck is definitely perfect for, let's say, city driving. It may be big, but thankfully because of the way that it feels like a sedan or a crossover, it doesn't feel as big as it actually is. And the size is about a little bit larger than a Ford Ranger Raptor, so it's negligible, it's livable, it's something that will work. And anyway, if someone does end up using this one as a daily driver, again, there's a lot of savings, it's something new, it's something different, it's definitely something that is very attractive to many buyers these days.